What's up, YouTube? Kap and Crump over here, and today we're going to talk a bit about the draft.
Hey guys, what's up? We're just gonna go over the drafts. Each team, we're gonna talk about some really strong picks.
And then we're going to talk about the underrated picks as some things we'd like to see that work out, and not a lot of people take into consideration.
You've got your typical overused Pokemon, and some
Yeah.
some of us drafted some never used,
Talonflames.
underused Pokemon, and we kind of want to talk about those. Just because they're NU doesn't mean
You shouldn't take them lightly.
yeah.
They're a definite threat.
There's still some good threats out there, and interesting sets that people can run. So, kind of want to just talk about each team's cool Pokemon and what they've brought.
Yeah, so with that, we'll start off with Fuck the System Softly.
So yeah, I mean his solid pick I would say is Bisharp.
We decided ultimately it was Bisharp because Bisharp's such a solid choice. You can't lower its attack.
And Taunt is kind of nice. It learns some really good moves. Taunt, Sucker Punch.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the solid picks that Fuck the System Softly made.
Plus, just anything that's good against Fairy types, I think is really good.
Yeah,
There's
and
some-
his underrated pick,
I would say Ursaring.
it's definitely the Ursaring. Ursaring is such a threat with the Guts or Quick Feet.
Yeah, anything that gets guts is really good, especially when it's stab. That's a really good combination.
Especially with the Facade, and Ursaring's just got such a diverse pool of moves. I've ran an Ursaring, he had like Crunch, I think Superpower?
Yeah,
Superpower and Play Rough and Facade. And that's such a big coverage on so much Pokemon.
and that's a quick feed Ursaring. I mean, when you have a guts Ursaring, either or is scary. Like, do you take the risk of it outspeeding you, or do you switch out and take a huge hit?
Yeah.
It's like either or. That thing is gonna hit hard if you let it.
So I think Ursaring's definitely going to be something that you guys should watch out for.
Yeah.
And definitely look forward to seeing.
Not to be taken lightly. It hits like a tank, so definitely very, very scary.
And then we're going to move on to the Jewish Giraffe, the creator of this league.
And his really solid pick, I would say, is Clefable.
The Clefable. I was thinking of drafting the Clefable. I was so mad when I got picked.
I mean, once again, fairy typing is amazing. This generation, fairy typing, I think, it serves that really good niche of like defensive walls.
And it's so clutch. So clutch. The Clefable can learn Stealth Rocks too.
Yeah, I mean, it has a good support move pool,
Yeah, and Calm Mind, Unaware, Magic Guard.
Magic, I'm not sure. Magic Guard?
It's the one where you can't take like any status.
Yeah, I think it has Magic Guard.
Yeah.
I just know that I see these things set up a lot of Calm Minds, and after two,
It's like, oh
Like,
man.
it kind of makes you
Quit
slip
on
a little
life.
bit. Yeah, you kind of slip a little bit, and if you mess up,
You definitely
it runs
gotta,
all over you.
yeah, you gotta play around the Clefable really carefully.
Now, his interesting pick is Tangrowth.
Tangrowth is it's interesting.
it's-
It's really like
I mean, it gets the regenerator ability,
yeah.
which I've seen multiple times, and
It becomes that wall that you never stop seeing.
yeah, you think like, all right, I hit this thing pretty hard. It's gonna switch out, and it comes back into like a full health again.
And then you're like, oh man, this is a marathon. This
Yeah.
ain't no sprint.
especially if you got like a ground type or like one of those famous bulky water types. This thing counteracts it, I think,
Oh yeah. And it just with its defense is so high.
and the good move pool too. Giga Drain. I mean, Giga Drain.
Well,
It's just helpful, right?
it's got like the essential moves to heal up its own health. And when you think you've knocked it down with like regenerator and stuff,
It's got like Leech Seed. I mean, like it's
Giga
got things that can take
Drain.
it can get itself back and slowly like whittle you
And-
down.
and perhaps one of the best moves in the game, knockoff.
Yeah, it does learn knockoff. Definitely one of the best moves, especially with Eviolite and being so prominent.
Yes, for sure.
So moving on,
We've got
Mr. Sir Grape
yes, we do.
and his solid pick, I think Gardevoir.
Gardevoir definitely is such a solid pick with really high defense and decent speed.
Yeah, we did talk about it in the Mega Drafts, and I mean even regular non-Mega Gardevoir. Like
It's instead of getting the Mega Gardevoir, you can put a choice back, choice scarf, life orb.
I mean, there's so many different things you do, even leftovers possibly. If you
It's-
run a defensive Gardevoir, because
Yeah.
I know its special defense isn't anything to like tout about.
And it can be pretty supportive too.
Yeah, I mean, and his underrated pick. We were kind of thinking about if it's the Chinchino or the Lantern,
And
but I'm interested to see what the Lantern can do.
and that's why we ultimately chose the Lantern too, just because I've seen a couple of Chinchinos, and they do generally run a lot of the same set, but the Lanterns,
Yeah,
it's something that you see in the lower tiers, and I want to see it how it does fare against, like, let's say a Clefable or some other
yeah.
wall Pokemon.
I mean, don't get us wrong. Chinchino is very much a threat, but Lantern, I feel like
It's
can be unpredictable.
yeah,
I mean, Volt Switch. It's a good pivot Pokemon because it can take I've seen Lanterns take super effective Earthquakes or stab Earthquakes rather. I mean, it's all super effective, but it's taking stab Earthquakes and it gets the fuck out of there afterwards.
and let's not forget about its ability
Volt Absorb,
or
Water Absorb. I mean,
that's right.
I've used this thing against a Feraligatr before, and especially with Sheer Force Feraligatr.
Yeah,
Like, you play some serious mind games if you're running Volt Absorb or Water Absorb.
it's just going to be such a tough thing to guess, and you're going to be running the risk of activating one of those abilities.
Yeah, I mean, like, having Volt Absorb is really helpful because that takes care of one of its weaknesses.
Yeah,
It's only weak against, like, it's only got, like, 3 weaknesses. Grass, ground, and, well, electric.
and I'm going to say that Volt Switch is so clutch in this meta because it allows you to really get that upper foot on him, and having that disabled from your move pool is going to be such a tough thing to go around because now you won't be able to switch against this Lantern and get that upper foot. You have to hard switch out, and
I mean, it's got a really good support move pool, too, Heal Bell.
yeah,
It being able to cure up your team is real nice, Toxic, if you want to whittle the other team down. Scald, burn them, it can be really annoying.
yeah. But then we're going to move on to Ethereal Knight's top pick. Solid pick.
Excadrill. His solid pick was Excadrill, an excellent Pokemon.
So,
Pardon the pun. That's kind of your department with the puns, but
yeah. But I'll let you take that one. I'll let you take it. I liked it. I giggled.
No, it is a good Pokemon. I mean, any Pokemon that's a Rapid Spinner, I think, is a very excellent choice.
Yeah, getting rid of the sticky webs, the solid stealth rocks, toxic spikes.
I mean, its typing is not bad either. Again,
Steel.
yeah, anything that's like, I think any Pokemon that's like a Steel typing now has gone up a whole lot. I mean, they've had really great defenses because they resist a whole heck of a lot of things.
Yeah.
But now being super effective against Fairy, it's
And-
just like it's very helpful.
And this thing has a really high attack, so it punches like a beast.
I mean, yeah,
with claws like those, you'd hope it punched
and
like
it's
a
a cool
beast.
looking Pokemon too. I'll be honest. I kind of wish I drafted this thing myself because I wanted to, I've always loved the design of Excadrill.
I definitely was wanting an Excadrill on my team.
But I mean, you can always run different. I don't know if Excadrills do anything other different than Rapid Spin and Stealth Rocks.
They can run offensive sets.
I'd like to see an offensive set. I don't know. But his interesting pick.
We argued about this for quite a while.
Yeah, I think we end up deciding it's Frostlass though.
Just because Frostlass is mainly used as a suicide lead.
Yeah, setting up those spikes is really helpful, but I mean, we haven't seen that Frostlass do anything else other than that.
And I'm really interested to see a Frostlass because personally it was one of my favorite Pokemon when it was first introduced.
It's a cool looking Pokemon.
And I want to see it. It's a really fast mon, and I want to see it use its speed to surprise that one person. Because I do know that ice attacks are so key in this meta, as dragons are a thing.
Yeah, Dragon type is very prevalent. Frostlass doing something different. I mean,
Especially
we're always up to see like different and unique sets, and I think Frostlass still has that like untapped potential.
Yeah.
Like
that little. If you dig a bit deeper, it's gonna benefit. You're gonna find gold. You're gonna hit treasure.
I mean, it's got a unique typing too, Ice and Ghost.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. It hits a lot of Pokemon and it outspeeds quite a bit.
I mean, what can it learn? It can learn Spikes. So I mean, you can still set up Spikes if you want to. Shadow Ball, Blizzard,
Destiny Bond.
Yeah, does it get a Snow Warning?
For sure.
Yeah, Snow Warning. So I mean, no.
I don't know. It's got a cursed body, so if you hit it, you might lose that move.
Okay, disable. Unfortunately, it can't really take a hit though.
Yeah.
It being frail. So
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe there's something there.
Yeah. Some
All right.
untapped potential.
So moving on to Dalitete, and Dalitete picked a really solid team.
Yeah. This one was really tough to pick, as his solid pick was the.
I'd say the Talonflame, the good old Smogon Bird as its known.
And yes, we don't really need to say much about Talonflame. Talonflame is such a solid pick that he pretty much.
I mean, it checks so many things. It's like, I mean, double weakness to stealth rocks, I think, kind of balances it out.
Yes.
But I mean, you can lead off with a U-turning Talonflame and just to scout. Plus, really great ability. You can Gale Wings.
Yeah, and personally, I love birds, so Talonflame was a solid pick.
Cool
on my
design.
list.
One of the easily the coolest designs of the newer Pokemon.
And his underrated Pokemon.
What does he have? Probably Kabutops.
Yes, Kabubu.
Kabubu, as he's written it down here.
Kabubu.
But yeah, Kabutops. What do you know about Kabutops?
Not that much. Not that much. I do know it's got really high attack and
Swift Swim, right?
Swift Swim.
So I mean, he could potentially run a Rain Dance team because he's also got the Manaphy.
Yes, he does.
But I don't know. Kabutops, water rock typing. I mean, you don't. It's scary against those grass types, but he's got that Milk Tank, so
he can get that Sap Zipper off.
So like, it's good in the sense that it's actually got some pretty good synergy with Milk Tank.
Yes,
I'd say so.
But as for Kabutops, I really want to see what it does. Just because I don't go against a lot of Kabutops, even in like NU, RU. I don't see a lot of them. So
yeah, I feel like it can learn knockoff. Can it?
Probably.
Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I know it can learn Aqua Jet for sure.
Yes.
Aqua Jet. So I mean, it can still outspeed. It's a good priority Pokemon. It's good to have priority, right?
So it's something that I'm gonna be looking forward to see from day one, if he brings it in or not.
Yeah, definitely. I would like to see the Kabutops being used.
And I feel like this is one of the Pokemon that a lot of people will not see coming, because it's just, you see the Chinchinos, you see the Lanterns, you see the Frostlasses, but the Kabutops is something that you mostly see on like rain teams or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't know if Dally Daytay has a rain team in mind, but I'm really interested to see the Kabutops come into the RBL.
Yeah, just like it's dynamic with its team, you know?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, let's move on.
All right.
We'll
go into Potato Jello, not Jelly.
Sorry. Yeah, Potato Jelly is it's habit now at this point.
That's right.
It's a habit now at this point.
His solid pick.
His solid pick, though, is probably Hydreigon. Yeah.
The synergy it has with Metagross is so crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like, Mega Metagross only has a couple of weaknesses with, Shadow Ball. What else?
Dark Pulse.
Dark Pulse, Fire, and Hydreigon just resist all that.
Yeah.
Same with, like, Metagross. They just work well with each other. They just do, right?
And Hydreigon is just such a scary Pokemon to really deal with.
Bulky. I've seen a couple of Hydreigons out there.
Yeah. I haven't fought him against many, but I'm scared.
I mean, I'd say it's kind of a tank of a Pokemon because Dragon Pulse still hits hard.
Yeah.
You know, that's a thing. And, Dark typing, again, it's very helpful.
Especially against those ghost.
Yeah.
Psychic Pokemon.
Ghost Psychic, yeah, it's helpful for those kind of Pokemon, I think. Because usually the Psychic types are the ones that set up against you.
And I do believe it has Levitate, right?
Yeah, it does have Levitate.
So that's a ground immunity right there, which is always good.
Yeah,
Earthquake.
Having that immunity is just always nice. Yeah. Oh yeah, because Earthquake.
Yeah. Earthquake is a thing, plus Toxic Spikes and Sticky Web won't affect it.
So yeah, it's just extra nice. And his underrated pick, we'd agree, it's Quagsire. Just because it's moved down so much in tiers?
Yeah, recently it was like up in the OU section, but then...
Was it actually overused?
Yep.
Wow.
I do believe a long time ago it was overused or UU.
Yeah, I can see it in UU.
Don't quote me on that.
But, I mean, it's got a great ability in Unaware.
Unaware and Water Absorb. Alex Louis, actually, I did have a bat with him. Did I?
Yeah, you did. I think so.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Someone did mention that they did pick the Quagsire because I did battle with them.
So I guess that'd be him then.
It might be.
but yeah, Quagsire, I think, it can really stall you out if you let it.
Yeah, for sure. Like, Quagsire has Recover, Toxic, some solid resistances, resisting Electric and the Water.
Yeah, he's got 3 grass type Pokemon that he's drafted, and those Pokemon are typically weak to ice types, right?
So I definitely want to see Quagsire making its debut in the first battle.
I mean, it's just a favorite Pokemon too, because it's just.
I know I personally use a Quagsire when I was playing Gold, so I've got some attachment to this Quagsire.
So moving on to Joseph, he's drafted Scizor. I think
that's a pretty top pick.
I think that's our favorite pick of his.
Just because Scizor can come in clutch in so many ways. It can be a bulky Scizor, it can be a physical Scizor, it can have the defog.
And stab bullet punch is just, it's always appreciated. Having that technician, right?
Yes.
Technician is an amazing ability. Yeah, plus, bullet punch, get that technician boost. This is nice.
It's nice.
And I believe he can actually also learn Roost.
Yes, he can.
Yes, he can. So I mean, Scizor could really act as a very effective wall.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of Scizor walls. Not very fun to go against.
And his underrated pick, I want to say the Stoutland.
The Stoutland is definitely something I want to look forward to seeing.
I've run a Stoutland before. Intimidate is really helpful. I don't know what he's going to do with it, though, because there's no real standard set for Stoutland.
Yeah, I went against the Stoutland a couple times, going against Crump Stoutland once, and some other person's Stoutland, and Stoutland hits like a monster.
Really?
It had I think it was just Life Orb, and it hit me like 50% every time. And I was like, well, this Stoutland's got to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's good ability with Intimidate, and
it does have like such good coverage too.
Yeah, because I mean, normal typings just learn everything, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's a cool looking Pokemon. I'm a fan of dogs.
What was it? The mustache.
That mustache, right?
That mustache.
It's majestic. It's magical.
You get lost in it.
It's beautiful.
So with the mustache, we're gonna go on to the Flying Skull, and his solid pick was the.
What was it? It was a Hitmontop, I believe.
It was the Hitmontop.
Yeah, Hitmontop. Once again, a good rapid spinner. Really excellent rapid spinner.
And being drafted so late in the draft is really incredible because Hitmontop is such a good Pokemon.
I mean, just because it's drafted late, I don't know. That's not a really good indicator of the Pokemon.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of people are drafting on what works well with their team, right?
Yeah.
And for others, Hitmontop may not have made that list at all, right?
But it definitely makes Flying Skills team much more complete.
Flying
Skull.
Flying Skills.
Flying Skills.
But Flying Skulls team, it works well,
Yeah.
I mean, let's see. He's got Magmortar, which is his...
I believe that's his underrated Pokemon.
I'm interested to see what he's gonna do with his Magmortar.
I know Magmortar has such high special attack. So getting switched upon to that, even if you're a special defensive wall, it's gonna hurt.
And it gets Solar Beam too, so I mean,
be careful.
Bring in your grass ground types, and it's gonna destroy. Yeah. If you're not scary, if you're not wary of that, if you're not wary of that, yeah. Sorry. But yeah, Magmortar. I mean, it got drafted pretty early, and that makes me think about something. When people draft these really underused Pokemon very early, it makes me think they've got something set up. They've got they have an idea what they want to do with their team. I mean, we've all got ideas what we want to do with our team, but
definitely
there's something specific going on here, I think.
And
or maybe he just really likes the Pokemon.
I feel like this guy's got a plan with Magmortar. If you're gonna draft something that early, it's definitely a staple on your team.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. When you draft really, I don't want to say OU Pokemon, but underused. Well, I don't know what Magmortar. NU is Magmortar.
I think Magmortar is NU,
or maybe RU possibly.
No, he's NU.
He's NU.
I'm pretty sure.
All right, but I mean, that's really cool to see some NU Pokemon being drafted early.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope it puts in the work. I really hope so.
Definitely.
I'm interested to see what it can do. But it does, I mean, for those finicky, Quagsires and Swamparts, and the Gastrodon, who hasn't gotten drafted at all.
That's really interesting.
But,
well, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the Magmortar make its debut and seeing what it does and brings to the RBL.
Yeah, so moving on to GBs, or otherwise known as 15412 GB. Or Greg.
Hey, Greg.
But yeah, he's drafted the Conkeldurr.
And we all know how Conkeldurrs are.
We've seen, the thing with Conkeldurr is that I actually just fought one earlier, and the thing with Conkeldurr is that it's a really bulky Pokemon, right? Drain Punch and just like really great defenses and a good offensive stats.
Yeah.
And you can't stall it out though. That's the thing. It's
impossible to stall out Conkeldurr
because it gets guts. I mean, like you
knock off Ice Punch, Drain Punch, Match Punch.
Yeah, that's usually what it runs. I'd say.
Or you can run a bulk upset, and it's something that you always have to prepare for. You always have to look out for. And I was not looking forward to battling any of them whenever I see them on team preview.
I think a scary thing is when I see Conkeldurrs, they usually have a Pokemon that, like a Wish support Pokemon with them.
Yeah.
It's pretty common to see like you get that Conkeldurr on the ropes, it switches out, and you're like, all right. I mean, by the time it comes back in, it's basically done, and then it gets a Wish support up in there, and it's back at full health, and then it Drain Punches you, and it's like, wow, what happened there?
Well, this went south really quick.
And yeah, great move pool once again, right?
Really great move pool. You have to hit it with special attacks, I think.
I mean, it doesn't have a lot of common weaknesses either, like
no.
Psychic and Flying types.
Yeah.
I actually don't see a lot of...
And then you can try to hurt its feelings.
I don't see a lot of Flying types at all, really, to be honest. I mean...
But, what would you say his underrated Pokemon would be?
I mean, he's got a really good... he's picked a lot of good Pokemon. I don't know if I would say necessarily underrated.
It's just
now it's not so underrated.
It's not underrated. Little spoiler there, as it is the Feraligatr.
Yeah, I mean, Sheer Force Feraligatr
moved up the tiers really fast.
I mean, anything with Sheer Force, because you can put a Life Orb on it and like
it doesn't give a care.
It doesn't care, like it hits hard and great move pool too.
Yeah, it's something that I've seen a couple Feraligatrs now that they've definitely been increased in usage, but seeing something that gets its hidden ability a couple of weeks ago is something that you definitely want to see.
It's like, because they were still pretty good. I mean, it was what, NU?
I do believe it's NU.
It was NU, yeah. Actually, yeah, it was NU. And even in NU, it was like a pretty big monster, I'd say. Like, it was pretty common to see Feraligatrs because of the Dragon Dance set, right?
Yeah.
A couple of Dragon Dances, and that thing can be a little bit scary.
Yeah.
But now that it's got Sheer Force, now it can run the same set, but just more scarier.
Yeah, Waterfall. Ice Punch,
Earthquake, Aqua Jet. I don't know. You just have a lot of options there too.
Yeah, but you don't know if he's just gonna switch it into Sheer Force or just keep its normal ability and just set up some Dragon Dances.
Isn't a regular ability Torrent?
I do believe so.
I mean, yeah, you probably won't see its regular ability,
yeah,
but I mean, with Waterfall, you have that chance to flinch as well.
Yeah.
So
you might see a Dragon Dance set and just going for Waterfalls.
But I don't know. I feel like Sheer Force is way
beneficial,
especially with the kind of like the overall league.
Yeah.
You want that Sheer Force. You want that extra power.
Yeah. And
Feraligatr's a very excellent choice.
So that's what we sort of think of the overall teams. We really wanted to just break it down like that because it's something that you always want to see different Pokemon come into, and you're always seeing that solid pick there. Yeah, so
should we talk about our team a little bit?
Yeah, we'll talk a bit about them.
Yeah, let's go over it briefly. And
you had the first pick.
I had the very first pick, and I decided to draft a Heracross, which has come across as a little bit controversial because it's. I mean, yeah, it's not probably everyone. It's not your
It's not your first draft pick that you usually think of.
I mean,
but like we said earlier on, whenever someone picks one of those Pokemon that are not considered up in the tiers, it's because they have a plan.
And I mean, indeed, I do have a plan. There's something I can't really spoil it because it's my team, right? But yeah, I mean, just look at the team and you kind of have to go off of that, really.
Yeah.
I mean, Heracross, great typing, I think. Bug, fighting. It does hit a lot of things really hard, and great abilities too in Moxie and even Guts.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think I mentioned that Guts is a scary ability, and yeah, I mean it is.
Well, I've looked at everyone's teams, and you've built a pretty good team, if not being prejudiced or anything, but you definitely built a good team in which there's not a lot of common weaknesses.
Yeah, not too many common weaknesses. I mean, my interesting pick is probably Slurpuff.
Definitely, it's Slurpuff. Some might say it's the worst pick of the draft.
I would
We'll say it's the most interesting pick of the draft.
I would agree with both of those statements. Yeah, Slurpuff. I mean, I don't know what. I mean, yeah, I kind of put myself in a corner with that one actually. But I will. I mean,
You'll justify that pick.
it's gonna
right?
force me to be creative. You know,
For
definitely for the
sure.
next moments. Next couple of matches, I'm gonna have to see what I can do with Slurpuff, and it's gonna be a little bit of a challenge. But I'm down to see what Slurpuff can do.
Yeah.
I feel like it's again one of those Pokemon. I've heard of a set.
Untapped potential.
Yeah, it's on untapped potential. I've heard of an interesting set with Unburdened, and you know, I kind of want to test it out, see if that works. But you know, maybe it won't. Maybe it will. It could be really good. But yeah, it's kind of one of those Pokemon that has like a basic set that everybody's seen, and it only does one thing. So I don't want to go down that route.
Yeah, and the RBL is all about bringing different sets every week, or else you become predictable.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be bringing the same sort of team all the time.
Yeah, and I guess that sort of leads off into my team, as my very first pick was the Superior, and I thought this was such a key Pokemon in my team because it does complement my Charizard X quite well.
Yeah, it does actually. It really does.
And having the physical Charizard and the special attacking Superior with the contrary is so nice. It's icing on the cake. And I based my team off of I wanted to go into the week every week being totally unpredictable and having those Pokemon that can be used in different roles.
Yeah, you've got some really solid picks in here actually. I mean, yeah, I don't think each of these Pokemon that you've brought are like the best of their tier. I want to say like Snorlax, bulky, Zapdos, bulky, Gengar, scary, Goodra, bulky, Slowbro, bulky, Registeel, bulky. You seem to have really brought a really bulky team. But then you've brought like Charizard X and Superior. You know, I think Superior is up and comer. You know.
Yeah, definitely. Superior is one of those Pokemon that want to make a charge for being OU as it is BL.
Yeah, like it's almost there, right?
Yeah,
it's almost there.
And probably the most interesting pick on my team.
I think I know who you're gonna say.
Yeah, that's right. My very last pick,
Terrakion.
Terrakion.
I knew it. Yeah, just because you wouldn't expect Terrakion to be the last pick.
You wouldn't. And
Not in round 10. Not in round 10.
round 10 Terrakion. Hashtag that.
Yeah, I mean it's a really great Pokemon. Was it rock fighting?
Yeah, I do believe it's rock fighting. I've never used a Terrakion in my life though.
Interesting to see what you're gonna do with it.
I'm gonna definitely be playing around with it in the next couple days, seeing what I can do with it, and be sure to look forward to that.
It's a good typing too. Rock fighting.
And at the end, it was one of those you had to twist my wrist quite a bit to pick the Terrakion, as I wanted to pick the Staraptor and the Meloetta, but they got picked back to back on the final round.
Yeah, that was actually kind of funny because I remember you were like, I want this Pokemon and I want this Pokemon, but if this Pokemon gets picked, I'll pick this Pokemon.
Yeah.
And then they both get picked. That's kind of funny. But yeah, those are the teams, and I think there's some really great looking teams out there. You know.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the RBL season, and the very first match of the season should be really interesting.
That's right. I think we should all get a little bit of hype because the matches are coming up pretty soon.
They are.
It was just this Sunday when they start, right?
That's when they will start, and I'm going to try to get my battle in on Sunday. And my first match is against the Bavarian Beedrills. The Toronto Staraptors will go against the Bavarian Beedrills, and the coach is Alex Loe.
And I'm going against the Trojan Walls. That's right. The Dallas Starmie's against the Trojan Walls and Potato Jello, not jelly.
There we go. There we go.
Pat on the back. I've said it right.
Nice.
Sorry, Tim.
He might give you some Jello now.
Oh, I could go for some Jello. But yeah, I mean, it's really soon, and you know, we're all gonna be analyzing each other's teams, and I mean, this being the first battle and stuff, we don't really have much to go off of other than this spreadsheet that we've been looking at for weeks.
Day one will definitely be the hardest win of the season.
This has basically become our scripture, like the thing we read every day. You know,
yeah,
we read like, okay, he's got this, and he's got this, and he's got this. Okay, I might have to bring this, and then we'll test him in showdown and stuff, and yeah.
So look forward to day one of the RBL. That's right. So exciting.
So let's end on that note, and we hope to see you guys soon.
And this is Kap and Crump
signing out. Bye.